kick some ass.
Let's get our fucking shit together and kick some fucking ass!
What's up?
Welcome to Kickin' Ass with Jesse
and Andy.
I've got a concussion, and this podcast is brought to you by American Barbell Club, ABC Strong, Onnit, Green Roads, Cured Nutrition, and our newest one, Real Good Foods.
Real Good Foods, baby. Go there. You get some low carb, tasty
low
jams.
calorie. Yeah.
And we have a promo code, which is TUG, T-U-G. That'll give you 10% off and free shipping. Free 2-day shipping. Sorry.
Yeah. Check out Real Good Foods, guys.
Go out there and get it. It is 1:02 a.m. Last night I got home at 5
Because I got home at like after 4, and then you had to drive to North Tonawanda. That
I
was
had to
another
drop
half
Anthony
hour.
Nicometti off.
I
got home
after you Swedish fished your back seat.
Yeah, my car is fucked after this weekend. I got home at like 4:47 and then ate cold sheets. That was like hard as a rock. While reading hashtag BCW, hashtag Black Craft Wrestling. Over and over again. And then I finally fell asleep around, it was like almost 5, it was past 5:30.
Yeah. And now that was Friday night into Saturday morning, and now it's Saturday morning into Sunday. Saturday night into Sunday morning. I got doinked in the head today, and my head feels terrible.
Yep, and you just have to, in a couple hours, just wrestle with Smash Bros.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. They don't throw anything.
A gimmick ladder match, that's cool.
They don't do anything.
Yeah.
Basically working Kikataro
tomorrow. Piece of cake.
Just 2 gimmicks.
2 gimmicks back to back.
Yeah.
So
there you guys go. Real Good Food. It's TUG.
Yeah.
That's the promo code.
Please.
Go get your food.
Check it out, guys.
It is our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
If it sounds like we're not excited, we actually are. We're just very tired.
It's just late and we're tired.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's our 1-year anniversary. And actually, now I think about it, we're doing it in your garage.
Yeah.
And we did the first episode in your living room.
Yeah.
Then we moved on to the Sweatbox studio. And now we got the travel rig.
Yeah. Trevor Rig has been rocking.
Yeah.
Last week sounded like we were in a can. We tried something new. We tried the compressed vocals.
The 50th anniversary.
Yep.
Our 50th episode, we were in a can.
There's one called Fuzz Vocal. Probably try it next week. That's what my voice sounded like today when I cut a promo.
We'll try Fuzz Vocal next week. Hello, what's up, PSW? You actually, like I told you, I was like, at the end, we just got done at Empire State Wrestling, and at the end of the main event, I told you, I was like, as soon as the pinfall happens, 1, 2, 3, a lot of times that crowd will get up and start to leave.
Yeah.
But to put myself over, the show only went 2.5 hours tonight. It was scheduled to go till 8:30. It got done at 8:36.
Booker Man.
Yep, Booker Man. And because before the shows were going 3.5, 4 hours. Mm-hmm. And so.
My kind of show.
Yeah. And so when the finish happened, 1, 2, 3, like you had the mic, like boom.
I attacked Golo.
And you just, I think you just screamed ESW at the top of your lungs.
I knew, dude. You told me.
Yeah.
You gave me one, like, dude. This weekend, Pepper has been in just. I haven't seen this guy yet. And he was just inspired to wrestle this weekend, like big time. And it was awesome. Like, it was just like cool, just seeing the fire in your eyes. Like, we finally like did the Butcher and the Blade, like full on gimmick Butcher and the Blade shit. And it was just, you were there. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it for a long time.
Yeah, and you like saved shit. You called stuff in a match that we had at Blackcraft. That was just like, I've never even heard him say those words. So that, and then tonight, it was like, I
was fired up tonight.
Yeah, and this isn't an undercut on Blackcraft at all, but it was like, that show was huge. And Jesse was just like, come on, guys, we're going to go out there, we're going to do a better job, blah, blah. Like, you just gave us this, like, speech that was just like, let's go out there, hit your spots, let's go. And it was like, and then I'm just sitting there, like, I was at gorilla position just watching the screen, just pacing back and forth.
Yeah, it's
just
good-
I was like
good, man.
rabid, man. Like just wanted to get out there and just.
It
do
was good. Puff was fired up. You were fired up. Like,
was
me
cool.
and Bennett went well. It's like, I mean, I won't get too into it. Like, and not to knock Blackcraft, but it's
Of
like
course.
we were in a 4-way tag, and it's just it's a tough spot, man. It's me and you.
There's a lot of
and
people.
Me and you, 6 other guys, plus 2 or 3 more guys at ringside, and it's like
They all have to get their stuff in.
it's just it's a tough. You know what I mean? There's only so much we can do. So
Yeah.
tonight it was me and Kevin Bennett in the main event. You ran out. Puff was involved. It's like, come on, man, let's keep this shit tight, and we did, and it was fucking awesome.
I'll segue this
Uh-huh.
into the guests that we have here.
Yeah, yeah.
2 important people. They were both big parts. I was very parched. Wes brought me 2 smart waters.
Oh,
Very big.
Yeah, very, very big move.
Did cut a promo today. It did 0 work. It sounded like I ate a bag of sand and a whole thing of Pringles. Went out there, cut a promo. Very chapped.
Shit.
And then the other guest we have is one.
Big Bad Brody King. We've had him on
Dude,
for a
please
while.
be Big Bad Brody King.
Big Bad Brody King.
That's your new gimmick. Big Bad Brody King. Yo, lighter jammies, get on that.
Yeah, BBBK.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to hand this one over. We're going to go to the weird mono mic thing.
Yeah.
Here.
But West Pythons. Brody, say hi.
So I think my new moniker actually is what Ethan Page said the other day. He said, the scariest man since New Jack.
I saw because you just worked him on Thursday at Bar Wrestling. What did he talk on the? I saw a picture of him like talking to the mic to your face.
Yeah, he was cutting a promo on me because he tried to. I went for a lockup. He put me in a schoolboy. I kicked out at 2, and then he went, wait! And then he cut a promo on me saying that he realizes he's going to die now, and he's going to be a role model for all the fans and face his fears.
Yeah.
Where there was a big "Face Your Fears" chant, which was really funny.
Face your
Yeah,
fears.
but then afterwards he said I was the scariest man since New Jack.
I wish it was a Faces of Fear chance. And then they came out and just murdered you.
Faces of Fear, just their sweet WCW music hits.
But then I was like, dude, I'm totally going to use the scariest man since New Jack. But,
Yeah,
but then I was like, then I'm going to be like, man, what happened to all my bookings?
Yeah. Everyone just thinks you're like super dangerous.
Yeah.
And, like,
I'm going to
gonna
hand this thing off to
light
Wesley.
people on fire.
Oh, hey guys.
Wesley, hey man, thanks for what are these things called?
I don't know what you're about to say, but this is more important. The first episode, Wes found out that he was going to be a trash man.
That's the truth. Yeah.
That was literally the first day that you were like talking to Bob
talking
about
shop.
buying Bob's trash.
Yeah. Now I'm a full-fledged garbage man.
Yeah, the world's most dangerous trash man.
Yeah.
To himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. If I don't get hurt, it's not a good job.
Because I remember you you got all weirded out that like Wes was in the back and he was on the phone. At first you thought he was doing like gambling bets or something. And then, he likes his action.
I wouldn't hide that. I would sit right in the living room while you guys
Yeah.
are talking.
I remember, you went in the back
my
and,
credit card.
and we're talking on the phone for a while.
Yep.
But you butterflied my eye close tonight. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's butterfly straps. So I threw a plastic table at Kevin Bennett, and it ricocheted back into my own face and split my eyebrow open. I was suggested to get 2 stitches, but I didn't. And a drunk bartender who was also like a fireman, paramedic, cleaned it out for me. And then Wes put some butterfly strips on there for me.
I'd like to note that before the show tonight,
Yeah.
Pepper gave a big speech to all the guys, and he said, "Oh, and here's some rules:
Yeah.
no blood, don't touch the guardrails," which he immediately broke both of his own rules. And I was watching from the merch tables, and while Pepper was leaning against the guardrails,
yelling.
I just yelled, "Don't touch the guardrails!"
That was Todd's, because we had to have a quick one, and touching Todd's table is like another one, but I didn't get to say that, and I grabbed Todd's table, and everyone said that was karma. That's why it reflected back into my own face. And I will admit, a lot of the reason I didn't go to the hospital to get the couple stitches they suggested was because, like, every time I brought it up, you literally went, "Oh, you're going to get stitches?" I was like, fuck, now I feel like a pussy.
There's a story where I made a I think, a white power dude.
Yeah, definite skinhead.
Yeah, like at an All Out War show, he broke a bottle while like where we were all pitting. This is a while ago, and I just grabbed him by the neck, threw him on the ground, and made him like clean it up.
Is this when you still had knees?
Yeah, I was pretty neat.
A knee.
I had a knee. I still was pretty athletic though at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I grabbed him, put him on the ground, and made him like clean the glass up. Like I made All Out War stop, and then like clean the glass up. I like took 2 steps. All Out War started playing. I looked to the left, and like 119-pound kid clashed heads with my eyebrow. Not even moshing. Like I just like lost my footing and stumbled into his head. And Wes took me across the street to a Walgreens, right in the middle of Walgreens, cleaned my eye out, butterflied it, and we just ran back to the show. True story. So anytime that, and it worked out good. My eyebrow looks great. Wes did go to medical school, kind of.
It was. It's a true story.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I don't know why that was when I went to
From a doctor to a trash man. What a glamorous life.
Hey, man, you got to go where the money is.
you got
But side note, real quick, before we move on, the best part of Pepper blowing his eye open was what the waitress said to us while I'm butterflying his eye in the back of Mooney's macaroni and cheese place. She comes over and says, "Oh, I really like blood and holes. I should have been a nurse."
What?
Yeah, like I'm like squeezing like because the cut's pretty open on his eyebrow, so I'm kind of like trying to squeeze it shut as I put the butterfly on it. And yeah, her chin is like on my shoulder, like looking over. And yeah, she said she's really likes blood and holes. She should have been a nursing student.
Gross, man.
Yeah.
I have a friend who likes blood and holes too, but in another way. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go there,
I'm sorry,
you
guys, if
opened up
that
this can of
sounds
worms.
bad. I am not into that, but I have a friend who is. He's not one of us. I don't know.
Who is it?
Not that I don't want to
Name
mention
the
it.
names, brother. What do you mean?
No, his name is signed on that board over there.
what do you mean by blood and holes?
Talking about menstruation.
Oh, okay.
Talking about porking, dude.
I mean, I don't. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It's also
Anyways.
not happening right now because I'm having a baby.
Yeah, you are. Wait, you're into it?
I just don't care.
Yo, now that
It doesn't do anything for me, but I also don't care.
now that my dad is retired and an internet sensation by The Bear, I feel like having him on the podcast would be amazing because he has the time. Frank Williams.
No, his
This is
name's Tracy.
Tracy Williams, yeah. Some dude at Mooney's come up to me and he was like, dude, he was so far away.
At first, he was close, talking to you, and he said, "Yeah, I know your constant uncle," and like that's exactly how he said it. I said, "Did you say his name was ugly?" Like that's not how I heard it. And then he's just like kept switching between this incredibly drunk slur to like almost like an Arnold voice. Wes was doing it really well earlier.
Yeah.
This was at Mooney's?
Yeah, right before you
Yeah.
got there.
What I was getting at, though, me and my dad used to work at a factory together, Niagara Machine and Tool. And there was legit a guy named Spider that worked there. And you, like, literally, you would get your check cashed from Spider. Like, Spider on Fridays would he had to have brought like $10,000 with him of cash. And he would take your check and he would cash your check for you. And then also, if you needed like a side of beef, he had like all this shit that would fall off trucks. But the rumor is that he used to make his wife sit in cold water and then he would fuck her because he had this like fetish of like trying to fuck a dead woman. And then he used to finger paint with her menstruation blood. We're starting right off. There's like right away, we're starting off on what a foot. The For the Table podcast, which, let me explain For the Table. For the Table is a group chat that consists of the four of us, Tommy End, a.k.a. Alistair Black, Colin Young from the band Twitching Tongues, and Christopher McRobbins, which
Christopher Morgambo.
Yeah, which his real name is Christopher Morgado, and he.
Side note: I thought that his name was Morgan Otto for so long.
I literally thought his name was just Morgado, and he was from some weird magical land. But yeah, and he works for WWE Online, which maybe we shouldn't say.
Now you're fired.
Yeah, see ya, bud. Have fun with that menstruation blood.
I got a job for you tossing garbage.
Yeah, making more money. You just got to move to NT or
That's
live like
all.
a king. Yeah, so it's like a chat that we've had for what, 3 years now? Yeah. It's been. And like this is when Tommy was wrestling at PWG. We were all there to see him like wrestle. And like it just so happened that all of us were from New York, other than Jesse. Jesse added to the table after the. Yeah, but that was after the Florida trip, after we all went to like Orlando or whatever like that.
And
Yeah,
Colin Youngboy was a late addition as well.
Oh
yeah. And Colin, it was just like these guys have to be in this, and it's literally produced just great content of it's just straight up trash talk of each other. I mean, literally right now, like Tommy has a very weird injury. Which I guess I shouldn't talk about, but I'll talk about it. I'm talking about Tommy End.
Yeah.
He's got a very weird injury, and he posted a video today of him like throwing kicks and stuff, and he said like I'm feeling better, but then I just sent a message. It was like, but how are your twigs and berries? Which if you know what that means, you'll get the joke. But
Immediately roasting him about such a serious thing.
And then what's Morgado's gimmick is basically like he has conversations with himself in a group text.
there's times where Morgado will just go off on these tangents, and no one will answer him, and he will just. There will be an entire day where he talks by himself, and Nate asked me that yesterday. He goes, "What am I fucking Morgado? Like nobody fucking answers my texts anymore in the fucking chat." So then I just knew it just bothered him, so I just wasn't answering on purpose.
But my favorite is that how Morgado used to hate or does hate when people mispronounce his name.
And the only reason I knew that is because he came and hung out with me at a Long Island. And this is like when me and Morgado like barely knew each other. We knew each other through the chat, and then one time at PWG. So he like came out and hung out at Warped Tour in Long Island, and then like stayed with us. And I remember there was like I stayed the whole night. And like there was a UFC on that night, and we went to like Newfound Glory's bus. We did it that day. There was this dude that got wasted on hallucinogenics, and took his pants off. Was just walking around like Pooh Bear, but he was wearing like a drug rug with his dick hanging out.
Oh, is that that picture you posted?
Yeah, and the picture, someone snapped a picture of him just sad boy, like he's got his hand in his like hand, like head in his hand,
So his head in his hand.
and he's got a drug rug on, with literally the smallest dick like a micro penis. Like, it literally,
So your dick.
yeah, it looks like a long pig nipple. There's
that was the first time in my life I saw another man's dick and felt good.
yeah, right?
Usually I'm like, man, this sucks.
Yeah.
You use that picture a lot.
Dude, it's the best. And then Morgado does like graphic design stuff, or he can do graphic design
Yeah,
stuff.
he's
'cause
actually a pretty good artist.
he does like I don't know, he does like video editing for WWE, but he's really good at that stuff, and he actually put that dude in this picture. We like took a picture in Newfound Glory's bus that day, and then literally superimposed the dude like in the background, and it looks like he's just in the bus with us, naked, Pooh Bear.
Pooh Bear style.
It's great, dude.
So what we're getting to what like people mispronouncing his name.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that day in Long Island, some dude came up to him and literally called him like Morgando or something like that, and he was like, yeah, and just I could see how mad he was. It was just on his face. He walked away and he goes, "Fucking hate when people fucking missay my name."
So for probably 6 months,
Yeah,
Andy would purposefully mistype his name,
Anything,
misspell it.
anything
and
that started with an M.
then, and then he started telling me about it, and then I told Colin, and it kind of got around to all of us, and we all started just calling him different names every day.
Yeah, and it was
then he just no-sold it forever.
I loved it.
Oh, it's the
And-
best way to do it, man.
And then eventually it was like,
Dude, we
why
called
do you guys do that?
like
And then
that first day. It was like McRib,
yeah.
like McGruber, like MacGyver, like all of it just came up. It was awesome.
When Emily and I told him that she was pregnant, she said, we're going to name our kid McGruber.
Which is the best. It's a great movie. So yeah, it's just like just burning each other, obviously burning everybody in wrestling, which sucks. It's like that in music. It's like that in anything. There's gonna be like, you're gonna just talk shit about whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's, you know how it is. Like in any business, when you're in work, there's just people that irk you, and you just talk about it with the people that you feel comfortable with. And
And it also is a group chat that means that whenever we are at a meal together,
Oh.
someone orders an obnoxious amount of appetizers.
And it was literally that PWG. Like we all barely knew each other.
Yeah.
Wes wasn't there because he had the shits really bad.
True story.
Yeah, I actually thought that Wes was like the biggest prick, and then Andy was like, "No, he just had his shit really bad." And then
Yeah.
like the next day, you were like, "Awesome."
Yeah.
I mean, I was the biggest prick for 24
Yeah.
hours. People do weird stuff when they got a shit. I mean, what the fuck can I say?
Yeah,
My,
shit,
my lower
yeah.
back got tight. I started sweating.
Dude, you were out.
I had to go. I mean, what the fuck?
He started nailing the tugboat stuff, and I was in tears.
Yeah, so that was, and we were all there, and like these guys like busted out laughing when I was like, "Yeah, can we get some nachos for the table?" And I just kept saying "for the table" over and over again, and they were just like,
He wouldn't stop saying "for the table."
"Yeah."
And we're like, "Dude, why do you keep saying that?" He's like, "It's for the table." What do you mean? It's for the table.
It was a heavy for the. What was the heavy for the table order tonight? Oh, there was a lot going on.
2 orders of pizza logs, an order of onion petals, an order of nachos that are the size
Like
of a
only
stop
he
sign.
I ate like
Yeah,
three forkfuls.
you ate them as a meal and couldn't finish it.
No.
And then we had 2 large orders of mac and cheese, which
Yeah.
is
It's like
It's like a basketball inside
literally
of a bowl.
It's for like a family of 4.
yeah.
Yeah, like this place, ESW, Empire State Wrestling, has a deal to do an after party when there's shows at this place called Mooney's, and their like specialty is like mac and cheese. And there's like me and Wes grew up on fried bologna sandwiches. True story.
And Nate looks at us like we're weird,
Yeah,
like we're
we're
leopards or
insane.
something.
And then Rat Boy was there, and I go, Rat Boy, would you eat this? He goes, fuck yeah. Like NT, like North Tonawanda, just like fried bologna sandwich. So there was fried bologna mac and cheese, and I was like, well, we can't not get that.
Yeah.
So we got that, and then you like the lobster mac, so we got the lobster mac, which actually was very delicious.
Yeah, classic over order.
Yep.
You can't.
I'm-
You have
I'm
to. You
so
have to
fucking
order
stuffed.
I
enough.
literally got done with the pizza logs and was like, "I'm full," and just kept shoveling food into my mouth.
Yeah, I couldn't breathe.
Andy at one point took a big exhale like he was gonna puke, and then just went, "Okay," and then like shoved an entire like giant spoonful of mac and cheese in his mouth.
And it was sad. It was like there was, the after party, like all these people are there, so it's like the entire like ESW locker room, like then like some fans come there, and just like, can you imagine just looking over at that table and just seeing guys just breathing heavy, sweating,
We looked miserable eating.
but it was really good.
Yeah, no, we were having a great time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that Wes is the funniest person on the planet, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm about like I think there's mac and cheese up to my throat, and I'm like laughing so hard that it's all about to come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great for the table order. There was a lot going on.
A ton there.
The worst part about the table tonight was Puff being a little bitch.
Oh no!
There's like
We're going down a road.
Puff called us out for an ongoing trend lately that we've been calling Puff out on the podcast.
So now he's really getting called out.
Yeah, now you're getting called out by actual like other people other than me and Jesse. He's like pissed at Jesse right now because he called him out over.
Like, hey, when
I love it.
when I was leaving, he was
Dig
like,
that
"Oh
hole."
yeah, 50th episode, guys called me out," and I was just like, "What was I talking?" And it was like, and then he was just, "Yeah, he called me out because like my car broke down and I had to go get radiator fluid," and it was just like,
So he brought up like the water cans at Warped Tour.
Oh, I don't know. When he was just telling like the stuff he just told me like an hour ago. I was just like, yeah, Puff, that's what happened. Like I don't know, like it's like I don't know, like I didn't understand. What was water cans? What was
You
he talking-
remember when we did the podcast on the bus at Warped Tour? He was sitting out front, and there was like a flat of tour water, like 5 feet away from him, and he waited for somebody to walk in front to grab one to say, "Hey, can you give me a water?"
Okay,
and you
yeah.
called him out on it.
Yeah.
That's what he was like originally pissed off about tonight.
That was we were sitting in the bus, and Danny Garcia actually pointed it out because Puff did it like 3 times within 10 minutes. Like he obviously wanted something, but he was like waiting for someone else to get up and be like, "Oh, hey, would you make me one of those burgers too?" like oh, would you grab me a water while you're getting up? He did that. Danny just called him out.
It was like Blackwood is vegan, and he brought like that day my father brought me 18 strip steaks. Holy shit! That day, insane. And like, because that's, I mean, a high part of my diet is steak, and that tour I was going and buying strips and like cooking a strip a day probably, so he brought me like 18 or whatever like that day. And I was gonna make them for everybody, like, and we did make them. We ended up making them for the guys, and then at one point in time, like, poor like Blackwood brought like these burgers for himself, and then dudes kept eating them.
Yeah, it's just like whatever's available, even for the guy with the special diet.
Listen, can we please get back to the Puff burial?
Well,
That's where we're going.
Yeah.
So he was just a little quiet at the table. 'Cause that was before I got
He
there.
literally sat at the table with like basically his head in his hands the entire
But I know he is like trying to diet right now. So what? Were you trying to push him to eat or something?
Listen, brother, if his diet consists of an entire bag of food from fucking
Sheets the night before.
and 6 fucking Uncrustables, then he's nailing the diet. So, good job, Puff.
But no, nobody was like, "Hey, Puff, eat this."
Oh,
fucking
mac and
garbage
cheese.
Food. He just kind of sat down and was just sort of like,
He was just
a
a little-
bummer.
No, actually, I said, Puff, eat this garbage food, and then he said no, and I chopped him.
we basically like what we like classically over-ordered because we knew like him and Danny were coming.
Yeah.
And you were coming, you know what I mean? So like, it was like, okay, let's just order a bunch of food and fucking everybody can kind of fuck off and eat it. But then everybody just
Which, by
kind
the
of,
way, that meal was sponsored by the Garbage Man, and
yeah,
we need to send our appreciation.
yeah,
Garbage money paid for that meal.
yeah. That's also Wes's new thing. It's like something happens, he's like, yeah, it's cool, it's trash money.
Trash money is a good way to put it.
Found some trash money, it's cool.
Or should we say disposable income?
Actually, great.
I like that. I need to find a tag partner for disposable income. Just walk out throwing money.
Hey, you're looking at him, brother.
All right.
Disposable, wicked tag team disposable income. But I do kind of like trash money though. That's pretty good too.
If Duke the Dumpster
Trophy?
what if
It's
Duke
late,
the
guys.
Dumpster Drosy was part of like Money Inc. with fucking $1 Million Man, and his name was Disposable Income?
That was definitely a blown opportunity to throw Duke in there as disposable income.
Named David Drosy.
Destro?
I d-
Daniel Destro?
Yeah, David Destro. We should talk about So
have to talk about Destro.
Blackcraft on Friday, we got to talk to Destro, who manages PCO. I mean, a good 20 minutes. Were you there for that portion?
No, I missed it. But
We were in the basement. That was honestly.
basically, like, he came in, and the only thing that I've ever experienced with Destro is him being the
Wild.
really weird guy in all
Yeah.
the promos.
Yeah.
That just goes, come on.
Yeah. Which
And then he came up to me, he's like, oh, hi, nice to meet you.
it was
And then,
French
like,
Canadian
he
accent.
was
It was like,
absolutely fucking shredded.
oh yeah,
Like,
just leaned out.
Legit though, sweetheart.
oh,
Like the
nice
sweetest
dude.
guy. And like PCO was kind of like cold. Like he kind of just like walked in and just hung out by a soda machine.
Like, so he's legitimately cold.
Yeah, he literally was kind of chilly over there. And then like D Destro, it was kind of like he kept poking his head around the corner, kind of like, hey, what are the boys?
Slithering his neck around.
What are the boys doing? Like it literally was like you could keep seeing him, and you're kind of like, hey, what's over there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then finally, I was like, hey, Destro, you really used to be a big fat guy. And he was like, yes. And like starts reaching for his gimmick bag, which you think, oh, he's probably going to pull a phone out.
Or a gun.
More a phone, like asking him about being fat. He pulls a fucking old picture, he had a picture,
like a photo.
a photograph, like attached to like cardboard. He's like, actually, I've got a picture right here, and then pulls out of his fanny pack like an old like picture of himself weighing like 350 pounds.
And like, and the picture was like so old, he had like taped it to like a piece of cardboard or something because it was like so faded from the 70s.
Did he tell you what he ate, or was it just calories?
He did. His big thing was that he eats 8,000 calories a day. That's how he lost weight.
Breakfast.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning, he eats 8,000 calories.
And it was because the big
sense.
breakfast was the biggest meal of the day because I guess they did this experiments with rats, and it's like the opposite of what sumo wrestlers eat because they eat like once or twice a day, but he eats a gigantic breakfast which was like a dozen eggs, pineapple, like some weird French Canadian food. I kind of didn't know what it was.
Crepes.
Maybe like it just, but like, and then throughout the rest of the day, it was just small meals. And according to him, when you eat such a big breakfast, you're not really that hungry the rest of the day.
So is it like your body's just burning it all day? Like,
And that I might fuck these numbers up, but he also only ate for 8 hours a day. There was an 8-hour window, and then 16 off, I think it is.
I mean, his whole point was to lose 1 pound a day, and that's how his.
One a week.
Oh, it was 1 a week. So it took him 3 years to do it, and he finally did it, and it was like, it was something wild. He was like talking about how like the skin, I needed the skin to be tight, so like that way you're not losing a ton of weight at the same time.
and
You're losing Yeah, and then you don't have to get the surgery. So his skin stayed really tight.
That's insane.
Because dude, like he's a world champion arm wrestler.
That's also insane.
He's a world champion arm wrestler, and I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen an arm wrestler's arm, but it looks different. Like it just looks strong. Yeah.
I mean, like when the first thing I noticed was that Destro looked like a real life Popeye.
Yeah. His arms are huge.
Yeah.
You know, he was 135 pounds.
It's like a giant forearm that
Yeah.
sinks into his elbow and then a
sinks into his
giant
elbow.
bicep.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like it sinks into his elbow. Like there's no like, you know, the joint looks strong.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
He did.
You guys have to know. Like, go back and listen to the PCO episode of Kickin' Ass, because we talk about Destro constantly on it. And if you haven't checked out those promos, like, it's literally just two old guys hanging out in a fucking garage gym.
Well, not even. And now they're just hanging out in an abandoned house
Yeah.
where
And, like,
PCO hangs himself in one of them.
PCO literally is like, he cut his chest open for the Blackcraft show and ate part of his own meat.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Probably high in protein. I don't know.
Think about that.
We kind of said it at the beginning there. The joke was like, because his name is D Destro. We're like, oh yeah, I hope it's just like it stands for Daniel Destro or like David Destro. Like,
It's like Dewan.
Dewan
Demetrius
Destro.
Destro.
Yeah, and to put myself over, he told me that I eat well, so I was very happy with that.
That's like the first thing he looked down. He went, "You eat well." Like, I did a pretty good impersonation earlier.
It was really good.
He was like, I wake up in the morning and I eat the 8,000 calories. What you need to do is to eat the calories. And he just kept saying calories like over and over again. And then it was like, then every meal, the time of day you eat is very small. And he just kept doing it. He kept talking about calories and 8,000 calories.
He was like so nice, like, because as soon as you asked it, like you said, like he was kind of like peeping his head around, like he wanted to hang out.
You just like going back to me jerking off that one time. My
Well,
mom.
that was a weird segue.
How long have we been going?
Well, I'm gonna get back to this because my mom listened to the one podcast where we were like, oh, we hope our moms don't listen to this. My mom actually listened to this podcast where I'm talking about jerking my dick off on my way to Buffalo, like rifling the guy up. I'm roughing up the suspect, trying to get questions on my way to just getting my guy ready on the way out to Buffalo early on, and I was getting pulled over. But you know what I'm talking
You
about.
pulled over with your dick in your
I
hand?
thought I was getting pulled over and my dick was out. Thanks for listening to the podcast, Nate.
Your mom listened to that episode.
Yeah, which is worse because Kevin Bennett was talking about like fucking his bed. He like made some contraption to fuck his bed. Anyways, my point is this. You know those like listen. You know those like boners that like you miraculously just get them, and it's literally just saying like, "Hey, bud, come on."
You feel like God. because
it's time to
like,
come.
It's like your arm in your fucking pants.
It does, yeah, and it doesn't matter where
Never
you are.
felt that.
Yeah. It doesn't matter where you're at. It's just you get this hard on in your pants that's like, hey, bud, hey, check it out. Hey, check it out. Check out me down here. Hey, look at this. Hey, you just rubbed up against the fridge. You feel that? Hey, oh, you're making toast? Hey, oh, that's the countertop. Hey, what's that? Oh, your hand just touched me. Hey, hi. A breeze goes through the house. Hey, it was a little chilly, huh? Hey, bud, let me out. You know what I mean? And all he's like,
It's demanding to go outside. Like,
yeah.
it's like, please touch me.
Destro was that. Destro kept poking his head around the corner. Destro kept poking his head around the corner, kind of like, hey, guys, hey, what's up? You see me?
that?
I'm the weird guy with the black tongue. Hey.
Yeah, I'll tell you this much. I don't know if I have. I'm usually pretty good about being like starstruck. I've worked in the movie industry for 15 years almost.
Yeah.
But like, and I usually don't get like, I don't know, fanboy at all at wrestling shows especially. But when I saw fucking Destro in his fucking coat
Same.
and like black tongue, I
I'm
was
not
like,
kidding you. Same.
I'm kind of marking out right now.
Same. Freaking out. I remember like seeing Billy Gunn for the first time. Just seeing Billy Gunn. It was
Just
like,
seeing a mountain walk at you.
but this like right after he left WWE, like a couple years ago, like there was a show in Buffalo, and I remember just seeing him up close, and you're just like, this is a human.
Do you have sons wrestling now?
Yeah. He
I
just
haven't
looks
seen
like a goddamn machine.
Does he?
So he
is
just looks
is
he
jacked?
looks different.
Yeah.
Dude, he's 54?
Yeah.
Years old or 55 or something. I mean, dude, he looks better than every single person we've seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe Brian Cage looks better.
Yeah.
You know, and like that's it. I mean, it's insane.
But Cage is, like also isn't like 6'5". Like
Of course.
people like don't realize how big those
Dude,
guys were
that's
then
what I
because
mean.
everybody in WWE was a giant.
I
think he might be taller because
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit taller than me.
yeah.
And like when I met him, like I never thought of Billy Gunn as one of the big guys
Dude.
or Road Dogg, and it's just like he came up to me and I was like,
Road Dogg's bigger than him.
Christ.
Road Dogg's
Yeah.
taller than he is.
The one that really blew me away was X-Pac being like 6'1". Yeah.
Dude.
You were the little 1, 2, 3 kid.
This is what I was saying to him when we met Billy Gunn. Our dude, Wes and I's jaw were dropped. I legit thought that the young guns were our size, like Smoking Guns. We're like Wes and I size, like just 6. You know, like Barton was Barton was a little taller, right? Yeah. Well, Barton was like the bigger one, and I was like, Barton was like 6'2".
Steve Austin's fucking enormous.
Yeah.
That one, like, there was just a land of giants back then.
Dude, it's fucking insane. And then when we met Billy Gunn, like we walked up and Jesse knows Billy Gunn. So like we walk up, he's like, oh, what's up, man? Blah, blah. And I'm just like looking up like, what the fuck, man? This guy's huge. And then X-Pac walks up behind us and he's standing there. And I was like, how are you my size?
Yeah.
What is this? It's crazy, man.
It was someone was just saying, either Colin Delaney was just saying this, or was it like somebody when we were watching SummerSlam? Because we were saying the same thing. Like Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy are not small by any means. Like, and you think like the Hardy Boys, like the little cruiserweight tag team. Like Jeff Hardy is not. He's a big guy. But someone was saying they're like, yeah, like meeting Jeff Hardy. Like I get it, man. Like he's a really good looking guy. He's a really, now I understand it. Like, he's just like a really breathtakingly good looking man. Like, I think it might have been Ricky Shane Page. Yeah. And,
I think when he left WWE the first time, he was not though.
oh yeah, when he had the short hair and he is like, I mean, one, he's an incredibly nice person, and it's just like, it's just like, wow. Now I see it. He kind of has like an aura around him. Yeah. Very good looking man.
He's got that Sweeney Todd hair that just really makes.
Oh, that's Matt. Yeah, that's Matt. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's Matt.
But Matt,
You were saying that
Jeff.
Hardy was a good looking guy.
Yeah, he's like a very like.
Pretty handsome, but he's handsome in that like freak way.
Yeah,
Like when you go to 7-Eleven, you see the weird guy hanging out 7-Eleven. He's kind of like, but he's got a chick with him, like a kind of attractive chick, and you're like, how did this guy pull that girl?
Dude, that was like every guy at Black Craft Wrestling last night.
Dude, yes.
Like some dude like walked by and Jimmy legit asked if he was the singer of Mudvayne. He just had all these crazy tattoos on his face, and he was just with this like hot goth girl, and we're like,
Yeah.
what's going on there?
Yeah, there's a lot of weird,
Probably getting
weirdness.
tied up and whipped up every night.
For sure.
There was a lot of weird going on there.
Just a weird, I mean, it's like a weird world of. It's just a really weird. I almost threw up. It's a real weird world, that Blackcraft thing, because it's like not really a wrestling show. It's not really a music show. There's fans of the clothing line, which like they have shirts that say really offensive things on it, but then also have shirts that It's just it's a clothing brand, and it literally they call themselves a cult. And there were some weird people there. There was like a guy in a blood-soaked suit.
Yeah, the white suit.
Sitting like front row. Was he a wrestling fan?
Yeah, I mean, he was a something fan. Yeah, he had to be a wrestling fan because he had like a poster, and he was like asking people to sign the poster. And I feel like that's a wrestling thing. You know, you wouldn't go to like a concert and ask the band and stuff to sign your poster, really. Yeah, that's more of a wrestling thing. I got some podcast people when I was in the crowd. Yeah, I got a couple of those. That was a cool feeling.
When I was outside selling, a dude just kept yelling, "Heat's in the ring," over and over again. It's like, dude, I just got punched in the face. Leave me be.
When you did your entrance yesterday, there was a lot of people that just come.
Oh,
He's in
the
the ring,
Heat's in the
bro."
ring. Yeah, that's a good feeling, man. That's very good.
Like, I don't know if any of you guys did sports in high school or whatever like that, when you can actually hear your mom or dad yell over everybody else's voice. And there was like a guy that was like, "Get him, Butcher!" And I'm like, outside selling. I just took a roundhouse kick from Ace Austin. Tangled in cords on the ground. Like, yep, I'm gonna charge right in there.
Yeah, it was like taking a fucking DVD through a table last night. People were like, "Get your ass out, Brody!" It's like, I'm in the fucking table right now.
I'm inside the table.
That spot on the top rope was amazing, where he was like, "Canadian," and then you just canned him over your head. Like Jimmy Havoc had like Brody up on like the top rope, and he's gonna Canadian destroy him off the top rope through a table on the outside, and then you just fucking
Back body drop.
it was awesome.
We were fully expecting him to like skip like a stone right off the fucking table because they felt real sturdy.
hard.
So we're just like, yeah, Jimmy's gonna go for this and just fucking fall off the table.
And then what was the other one? Because then Jimmy like requested to somehow get his head put into the tax, and he ended up taking a curb stomp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just like, yeah, so do you think like after you give me that move, like you can give me like a bulldog into the tax? And then we're just like, I was like, why?
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, I just want to get some tax in my head.
And yeah, anything he
and
just
then, and then with the spot ended up being him and Morrison.
Curb stomp.
Morrison curb stomped him.
Yeah.
And Jimmy just head butted the floor.
literally
with the tax
like forehead headbutted the floor, just
Yeah.
came up with a silver forehead. It's
Yeah.
just real gross. He's bonkers, man.
He's crazy.
Yeah, that match was fucking
He's
awesome.
also a fucking genius.
Yeah, that
And
was
an incredible human.
that's I don't know, man. Like anybody you talk to about Jimmy is just always like he's a complete sweetheart. Like
Yep.
I mean, for being like a crazy deathmatch guy, he has a really good reputation.
Smart deathmatch guy.
Yeah, very, very. He knows what he's fucking doing. But he, like, I don't know. I think the thing with Jimmy is just like you guys have such good chemistry. We said that. I mean, that's like apparent.
Yeah.
Have you guys had any singles matches?
Yeah, we had a singles match at MLW where there was no gimmicks. We just had like a straight wrestling match.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it was
awesome.
really fun.
That's awesome. Because the opening stuff you guys did was fucking kick ass.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good. Like I said, I think that was cool because, like I said, it just like it felt like a main event, which I think goes a long way.
Dude, and then John is just like, he's just like such a naturally like charismatic like.
Yeah, John Morrison, just
Funny
like
dude.
incredibly good looking.
And then and on top of being incredibly good looking
Yeah.
and very buff, when he wants to turn on being an asshole, it works even better.
Yeah, because he's incredibly good looking and handsome, and
especially in that
great,
crowd,
great
it's,
hair.
like,
Yeah,
perfect.
Crowd weird last night. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Like such a little thing to shit on people, and he was like, "You guys are weird."
Yeah,
Like it was such a jock,
he's
like,
like weirdos. Like,
yeah, like bro thing, but it like really hurt. Like
Yeah.
them, like you could, like I was like, oh man, like for some reason that hurt me. I am a weirdo.
he popped me a couple times like when I was in the ring because I came in with the trash can and I was posing as Wes.
yeah.
I came in with the trash can, threw it in the ring. Jimmy came in, slid a couple chairs in, and then like
You kicked him
John
out, right?
threw the trash can out, slid the chairs out. We went out, we got him, we threw him back in. He slid him out, and then he grabs the trash and goes, "Trash cans for trash," and then he just throws it out of the ring. And him saying trash cans are for trash got me so hard. I don't know why.
When we told this story this morning, and then like I was there for his debut at Impact, and he hit the ring from this Royal Rumble thing. It's like, oh, it's Johnny Impact, and he slides in and he just goes, "Let's make an impact," and he just starts giving people moves.
Yeah, he's an incredible.
Yeah,
person.
Johnny Mundo, Johnny Morrison. He's the fucking man, dude. He's great.
Johnny Nitro, Johnny Blackcraft, Johnny Ultra.
Johnny, I know you'll never listen to this. I'm talking to you, man. I didn't buy you those goddamn tacos because you're fucking John Morrison. I bought extra tacos because we all went out to eat.
Because it was for the table.
It was for the fucking table. I bought a whole bunch of mozzarella, or whatever that. How Chris Dickinson made me like say it.
Mozzarella.
Mozzarella, and I was like, I'm gonna say it like this: mozzarella.
Chris Dickinson corrected you on how to say mozzarella sticks and then butchered Japanese wrestler names.
Yeah. You want to know something? I don't know. Because
I don't know either.
that's like those dudes. I'm just like
It was like
Mitsuharu Masawa.
His thick New York accent.
Yeah, Jinchiro. That's how he said. That's how he said it. Jinchiro Tenru. I do a really bad Dickinson. Chris, don't listen to this, please. I don't want you to karate kick my
You're a
face.
legit hard ass that would kick my ass.
You're actually a bad motherfucker.
So if you do listen to this, make sure you fast forward 15
Yeah,
seconds.
don't
and
listen to
then
this
rewind.
part, man. Chris, I couldn't talk more. I love Chris Dickinson.
His energy is like through the roof.
I fucking
he's-
love him,
he's
man.
awesome.
Great storyteller.
Yeah.
Great storyteller. I'd love to have him on the podcast because he just has like, he's
He's
just
very animated with his storytelling.
For sure.
Which is key to a good storyteller.
yeah. He has that like weird persona of like, almost like a Ming. Like he's like our generation's Ming, where it's
Yeah.
like, Chris Dickinson will fuck you up. No joke about it. Like there's no like,
Yeah.
and he's like maybe the only dude on the indies next to maybe Tom Lawler. No, like Tom Lawler had a better record than Matt Riddle in the UFC. Actually, Tom Lawler actually fought good dudes.
Well, me and Dickinson were actually talking about that yesterday. It's like Riddle had like a real like wild style in the ring, but like Lawler like is like a boxer, and whenever you see him, he just looks rough and tough, and like
Yeah.
Tom Lawler will beat the fuck out of you.
I love Tom Lawler. And
I'm sure Matt Riddle will beat the fuck out of you.
yeah,
too,
but I'm
Tom
saying, like-
looks like an ass kick.
it is
Yeah.
actually terrifying
And
that
he's such a sweet person.
3 dudes like that. Like it's just like, oh, Matt Riddle, he would literally rape me.
Yeah,
like if he wanted to.
Yeah, whenever I see a match with them or am in a match with one of them, it's like I'm only in here because they allow me to be.
Yeah, it's just like Tom Lawler. Well, you're gonna rape me.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris Dickinson. Yeah, rape. Awesome. Great.
That's we used to laugh at that at Impact too, like with Bobby Lashley being there. It's like Robbie E used to say, like, we're like, Bobby's so nice, and it's just like Robbie was saying, like, he's like bumping off my clotheslines and stuff. He's like, I just laugh. It's like, it's just so stupid. Like, the guy can kill anybody here. You know what I mean?
Rip my arms off and beat me to death.
Exactly. It's just like it even like looks that way too. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, for him to be that giving was just super cool. Oh, for the mic guy, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, we'll keep.
Yeah, I'll do it. I just want to. I'll just recap
please.
Blackcraft real quick. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But essentially, what happened was Nate wrestled a tough match, went through a table. There was tax involved.
Yeah.
Andy did one spot, but still got paid more.
That's a shoot, brother.
It's just fucking. Yeah. That's what I picked up from Friday's show.
Hey man, just be a better businessman. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah, maybe I'll throw my life away and tour for 20 years. and have the 15-year-olds love me. Actually, all your 15-year-olds are now 40.
Yeah, not those 40-year-olds. This is a true story. On the last tour, I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast yet, but on Warped Tour, this like woman comes up to us. We're like doing our signing, and this woman and her friend, who is also a woman, comes up and goes, "Man, my dad loves you guys, man. He's the guy that got me into you guys." And I'm just like, "How old are you?" And she's like, 22. And I was like, "How old is your dad?" She's like, "Oh, like 38. I was just like,
What the fuck?
"I'm so old, dude." It was something like that. Maybe she was 20 years old, but I mean, like,
Younger than you?
she was
Your dad
20.
was younger than you?
Yeah, and like he had her when he was like 18 or something like that, and I just was like, "Holy fuck, man!" Like we're literally like Hana's dad produced Ario Speedwagon's records, like all of his records, all their records, and like she talks about Ario Speedwagons like they're her uncles. And like she's like, because like day after Blackcraft, I'm bummed because we have to fly back to ESW on the 6th, right?
Yeah.
So that day we were gonna stay an extra day because Sammy Hagar and fucking Ario Speedwagon are playing in Orange County, and we were just gonna fucking stay and hang with Sammy Hagar and
Can't stop loving you.
Ario
Fucking
Speedwagon.
insane
If
song.
I am so obsessed with pictures of Sammy Hagar holding drinks that there's like 19 of them on my phone for like certain things. He holds a drink like it's the best thing he's ever had in his life. Like when he's holding a drink, it's like true happiness. So like look up Sammy Hagar pictures, look at him holding a drink, and it's just pure delight. Like it is the happiest moment of a man's life. So I wanted to just get a picture of me with Sammy Hagar holding a drink. And now I'm not. I have to wrestle Puff.
Oh, good job, Puff. Thanks.
Yeah. Puff, you fuck. Yeah. Puff blew it.
Did you ever think that 20 years ago, when Every Time I Die was conceived at Mercury Theater, that you would be? I love it.
Sorry, there's a good Sammy
That it
Hagar
would-
drink pic.
That it would lead to you grabbing a redheaded wrestling referee's dick and rolling him over in a ring
can we
at
talk
a
about
local fire hall. That's what my music
Were you
career's
there when
gone
this
to.
happened? Oh, you weren't here. You weren't there. So when today I did a run-in in a match with Bennett and Jesse here, and Mullen got duffed. Was out forever on the pump kick. Yeah. Literally, that guy needs to like up his like protein count and stuff because he was down for the count on a pump kick for 12 minutes. It felt like
6 hours. actually.
yeah, and so I hit my spot. Blah blah. We blast Bennett with full death. I roll outside. I start waking Mullen up. Mullen, of course, is coming too. I go to roll him and just grab all of his penis, like the entire manhandle. Did he get weirded out? I guess, I don't know. I literally had his dick in my hand though. Like literally, like, I was using a salt shaker at Mooney's and explaining that as I was pushing him, I literally grabbed his dick to roll him over. And it was weird.
Like it was almost kind of like you were like jerking him off
I
because you.
literally had a manhandle. I had his penis in my hand and rolled him over on it.
Was it hard?
There's no way.
There's no way.
Good piece on the skinny ref. I want to
I
rewind.
went for the grab on me and whiffed.
I want to rewind to this. I feel like we didn't talk about it enough. When your dad was on the news, the local news about the North Tonawanda Bear, what did he say again? He said it was real nice.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, there's a bear. Oh, man, it was wonderful. I got to see it, blah, blah, blah. And then they, like, cut away. Frank Williams also, blah, blah, blah. And he just goes, yeah, ran up. It was nice.
You can like go to Jordan for every time it has Twitter. He like tweeted Jordan Eats it. He tweeted the news video. It's so awesome. I think at one part he said it was at first he said it was awesome. He just goes it was awesome, and then like later he just goes it was nice. Talking about a bear running around North Tonawanda.
I love that he was also like mowing the lawn or something like that. So he had like his earplugs like down, just taking care of those ears. He's deaf as a doorknob. When you talk to him, he
Was he
doesn't know what
painting the
the fuck you're
inside
saying.
of the shed at the time?
No, he was just mowing the lawn.
And then that was part of Jordan's tweet was that your dad was wearing a Shinfo shirt and he's just telling Shinfo to the news at the same time.
He called it hashtag Frank News instead of fake news.
Hashtag fake news.
I like that this podcast is turning into a real life group chat.
Yeah.
Where we're just bringing up personal shit and burning each other with it.
Yeah,
Anything that works.
Frank News. I do enough burying myself. It's okay. Everybody knows I'm a fucking pervert that jerks off in my car. That shit was 20 years ago.
Listen, if you
where was
have
that going though?
190. I was on the way out.
No, but where were you going?
with that story,
I was going out to. That was. I said that.
That's what he was talking about.
I was.
Destro.
I was going to like. There was at the time. I was like hooking up with a girl.
Oh, so you were just getting ready. You wanted to just get right in.
Yeah, that's
You
what I'm
didn't wanna
saying.
be
You does
embarrassed
that
when you
make
took your
that
pants
makes
off.
sense, right? Like you're getting it ready. Like I'm literally rallying the troops. That's what I'm talking about. Is like I'm getting.
Listen, maybe that's a 40-year-old thing, but I don't gotta get ready, bud.
I was 20 years old when it was happening. This is 20 years ago.
Your prick's been dead for a while.
Yeah, this thing sucks.
This is the same Andy that could jump 90 feet at the gorge into the river.
Dude, at that time I could have.
That's probably why your fucking knees are blown the fuck out.
We used to have my dad had a Crown Vic that he like handed off to me, an old Crown Vic, the Ghost. We used to call it with a white one, and the thing cruised, man. It went so fast. I used to be able to jump over it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I was an
His dick didn't
athletic.
work, but he could
I
jump
was
like
an
a
athletic
motherfucker.
monster when I was younger. I dunked a basketball 3 times in my life. On regulation.
I dunked a basketball 3 times in my life.
He's just getting ready.
That's incredible.
Makes sense though.
That makes total
I was
sense.
going out there. I was a late bloomer. I wasn't doing anything with girls until like almost 20. So like
Yeah, me too.
seriously, I may have been 20 years old. Like when the first time I like got naked with a girl. I had no idea. So at that time I was just like, oh, I gotta get this thing primed and ready. What if this thing doesn't fucking work? And I was going, and I don't know, maybe it was a fucking girl that like smelled weird or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, last time it was weird. I wasn't
that
really
point-
that into
at
it, but
that
I'm gonna
point
do
in
it
your life,
again.
I can guarantee you she smelled weird.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
The
yeah.
early pictures of Andy are fucking insane. If you only know Andy by the shredded 40-year-old hunk that he is now, please go down memory
There's
lane.
a lot of weird ones.
Oh my god, dude, some of the ones are unreal.
Biggie-
and now they show up on wrestling posters, and
Yeah.
it is glorious.
Like Real Shoot Wrestling. I'm wrestling for Real Shoot Wrestling in West Virginia on the 29th of September. Plug. Going against the Beastman, Wes Fetty.
Plug.
And they just found a picture of me wearing a cowboy hat, which that day they took it off of a picture that me and Mike Hammer were like going to eat at Islands, where Mike Hammer likes to talk things up. Mike Hammer from Violent Gentlemen likes to talk things up like there's something special, and then you go there and it's like a chain called Islands.
Yeah, it's kind of whatever.
Yeah.
They're all right.
What's the,
Yeah, it's okay.
What's the fucking 50s diner chain place?
Oh,
Ruby's?
Ruby's.
Smells. I don't know.
No, Ruby's.
Ruby's.
Yeah, he talks about Ruby's.
He's like, yeah, they don't exist anymore. And I was like, there's one in the airport.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were literally
Yeah.
eating at it in Newark.
Yeah. But yeah, he likes to do things like that. And he was like talking up this
They don't
Islands place.
fucking exist because they suck.
Yeah. So we went to Islands and we got burgers at Islands. But as I was like leaving, like literally our tour manager comes up and he's like, yo, I need you to go to press, do press really quick. It was on Warped Tour 2016. And I walk up and like some nonprofit's like, hey Andy, and I thought I had to do it. So I like walked over and they're like, pick one of these topics that you like believe in. And I was like, I'm like the least political person ever. So like, it's just like, I don't know, some vote thing. Cool. Yeah. Can you hold this? Sure. And I'm like holding it, wearing my full like cowboy gimmick. And these people still text me or email me and they're like, oh, we would really like another picture. I'm just like, never again. I don't want to do anything political. I don't care. Until someone tells me I can't play guitar anymore, I'll start worrying. Or I can't wrestle with my friends or jerk off my car.
You might not be able to jerk off in
Yo,
your car. It's pretty smashed up.
My car's fucked down.
My favorite wrestling photo of you on a flyer is when Bar Wrestling announced you, and it was a photo. How old do you think that picture was?
That was probably about 8-9 years ago.
And you were just
10 years ago.
Soft Andy.
fat, soft Andy.
I gave up. That was when I gave up.
with a fucking beanie on, and
Yeah.
you just looked like a pile
That's
of
when I
actual
gave up.
shit.
That's when I gave up.
And I immediately texted you and was like, "Yo, what the fuck? Where did they find this?" And you were
Dude,
like,
this is a true story. Wes and I, Wes started like working out heavy, and I would go to the gym with him. We were going to the gym, finally on track with like an actual like we had like an actual plan that we were doing and stuff like that. Started seeing gains. We were like going to the track and like running on the track and like shit like that. And we were like doing like sprints and then like doing like distance stuff. Then whenever we toured with Bring Me the Horizon, when we took Bring Me the Horizon on tour, that was when my heel started fucking up and it hurt every day and I just couldn't run anymore or do anything. And I was like, well, I guess I'm just a fat guitar player in a band. And that's literally was it. It was just like that. Then I got in a fight in Oxford where 3 dudes tried to fight me. I still whooped their ass, but I took a fucking beating. Like in the process, I got hit with a bottle 3 times. I got kicked in the face and blew my like lip open. And that's like the most damage I'd ever taken in a fight. And I was just like, I can't do this. Like, bitch Andy can't be there anymore. Like, I can't give up. And ever since, I've like been a mental freak about that shit.
"Yeah." I immediately texted Joey Ryan. I said, "You have to change this."
Yeah, that
And
was
he said,
we were on tour.
He said, "Oh, my graphics guy found that photo." I was like, "He looks nothing like this.
Yeah.
Like it's a different person."
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the thing. 3 dudes try to fuck with me, now I'll fuck you up.
Like, I just think it's funny that, like you said, like, oh, they found this really old photo of me when I gave up. And that's when, now I'm a pro wrestler, and that's the photo that they used for the pro wrestling show.
Pepper, you've been wrestling for 20 years almost. I'm sure that shit happens to you all the time, too.
Yeah, we always say that's a thing. Like, it's annoying when you get put on a show and the promoter just like, obviously like went to Google Images and
How
just
about when
picked the
promoter
first one.
asks you for photos and you send them to them, and then he uses a different photo that you don't
That was
want on
super old.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always laugh at that. It's just like, I don't know why they always do that. I mean, I don't know. Like now, to if I get booked somewhere that I'm not accustomed to, I always just say, okay, here's a picture you can use if you want for the flyer, because what you're gonna pick is terrifying. You know what I mean? Yeah, like for 20 years I've had long hair, I've had shitty fucking short hair. It's whatever, man. They'll just pick the worst one they can find. You
I mean, I'm Googling Andy Williams every time I die right now. It took me a while, but I found it.
No, there it is.
the shoddy one, and there you go.
They had to scroll by like 40 pictures to get to that one.
Yeah,
I mean, they
we
could have
want
picked that.
We want to make it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't think about some of the old like.
That was, I would say that's the time you gave up.
That's
Yeah.
2008 right there. Believe it or not, that's in Dallas, Texas. That woman took that picture. The next day, me and Oliver Peck watched 3 bums fight over a woman bum that looked like Ricky Schroeder. And a dude tripped over a root, knocked his head on a rock, and was out cold. I went to a liquor store, bought 2 24-packs. We watched them for 45 minutes fighting. Skinny Dirty dude, like the Skinny Dirty that knocked himself out, legit took an ass whooping from these dudes, but didn't fall once. And then he tripped over a root, hit his head on a rock, and was out cold. And then I bought him 2 24-packs. I came up and I was like, "Hey guys, like, thanks."
And immediately into the fight.
I had that beer. I was like, "I want you guys to have this. Chill the fuck out, but make sure that dude gets some of this." And they were like, "Fuck no!" I was like, "All right, man, I'm taking it back." They're like, "No. Okay, we'll give it to him. And then I didn't know, but the dude that was knocked out was bleeding everywhere. He like crawled up to the car when I was talking to the other dudes and just snuck up out of nowhere and was like, "Look at that beard!" and just stuck his bloody hands in my beard. And I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And I went and immediately shaved it. True story.
I love it.
True story. I had bum blood in my beard and had to cut my beard. Look at that beard! And he just put his hands right in it. I was like, "Ah!"
Every fucking hipster's dream right now.
That was 2008, dog. I started that shit. Listen, if you have
You are the problem.
if you have a shitty beard at home, you're just a copy of me, motherfucker. That's what you are.
Yeah, you fucking cuck.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's it. All you're trying to be is this Andy Williams 2008 when I gave the fuck up. Try to be here now, motherfucker. You can't keep up with a 40-year-old man.
I'm gonna put everything you just said on a T-shirt. I don't know what it was, but I'm gonna listen to this back.
That's right there. That's fucking getting you pumped up. Go to the fucking gym, motherfucker. You're gonna be 40. You're gonna get a fight in Oxford, and you're gonna get beat up by 3 dudes. That's what's gonna happen. Fuck those guys, man.
Or you're gonna get a,
Here's
you
the
get a
thing.
bloody beard and have a bum make you a fucking tinfoil wolf that you still got to
That was in Maine, Portland, Maine, in about 2003. A bum was outside making things out of. He would have said, "I will make you anything out of tinfoil," and I said, "Well, I would like a wolf." He made me that wolf right there, and then
Dinosaur.
and then he made me a centaur. I said a centaur, and I gave him $62 for both of them. The centaur was up at it might still be over at Tour City. It was at Tour City for like a really long time.
So keep up with that motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying.
Fucking hipster.
Stop
Yeah.
giving up.
Yeah, that's all. You were a fucking hipster. My thing was I was going through a fucking time. Had a fucking crazy.
Where girls wouldn't touch your penis anymore?
No. I had a crazy attack. I didn't want girls to touch me. And I grew this goddamn beard, and then fucking out of nowhere, people started like liking my beard. And it was like me being antisocial was to like look like that.
But it had the opposite effect.
Yeah, it did. It was like, yeah, no. Dude, I'm not kidding you. At that point in time when I had that fucking beard, when we toured in the UK, not one person in the UK had a beard. Not one person. Now you go to the UK, everybody has a beard.
My other favorite Andy look is the Bob Ross afro Andy.
That's actually a Harley Race.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, Harley
it's
Race
blonde.
permed
That's
afro.
why he did it.
But the best is that they actually had like a person come and like give you a perm. Yeah, just I got a perm.
It was my why can't I think right now?
It was a girl, wasn't
My friend Christy, why can't I think right now? It's Kramer from Cincinnati. My buddy Kramer's from Cincinnati's girlfriend, Christy. She did hair at the time. Now they both own like this matters. But if you're in the Cincinnati area and you need photography, they do like wedding photographies now. But yeah, at the time she did hair, and I was like, I messaged Kramer and I was like, yo, can Christy bring me some like perm stuff? And he's like, wait, you're getting a perm? And I said, oh yeah. And Christy got so excited about it, showed up. We did it in Kate Truscott's office on Warped Tour, and there's a picture I think on my like Facebook of me with the foil in my hair. And then when I would wake up in the morning, it would be super tight. It was sick. Like
You just,
super
like, pick it out.
No, I would leave it tight. I want Jerry curls, basically. And then when we would play it would just get super afro-y. It was awesome. There was like a documentary that was out about Mohawk Place in Buffalo, and they had an illustrator draw me with the perm like on it. It was like the people who like would hang out at the Mohawk Place.
Listen, I got garbage money. Let's me, you, and Jesse's girl perms.
Done.
Like the three of us combined wouldn't make a full head of hair, but it would be sick.
Jesse, are you shooting bald?
Oh yeah.
If you grew it out, where would it grow in?
The sides would be pretty strong, and then this would be pretty weak, and then there's a big spot in the back that just doesn't exist.
God, you would look incredible.
Yeah, I'll grow it out, Wes, and then we'll just perm it up.
Well, that was the thing was this. We did talk about this before. I don't know if you remember this. That we did say that when you're starting to near the end of your career, we would grow our cul-de-sacs out and be that like badass like veteran-looking tag team. Like obviously you're a vet. I'm just an old greenhorn, but the oldest rookie.
Like the duster and the rusty blade.
Yeah. I like it. There is a guy from Rochester named the Dusty Taker, though.
Yeah, that's true.
The dusty taker.
Dusty taker.
Just an old guy undertaker. That's all. What is a cul? What is? I always just call it a rim job. What's a cul-de-sac?
A rim job?
Yeah, because you just
That's not.
that's
That's not a hairstyle.
it's just like it's just a rim, man.
No.
It's
No.
it. That's it.
You know what a rim job is, bud?
It's a U-cut?
Hey, bud.
That's when someone licks your butthole.
It's a U-cut, a cul-de-sac, or there's one more.
I've always heard cul-de-sac.
I used to call it a U-cut growing up.
Yeah, I knew that.
I think you're the first person I ever heard say dusty hairline. That's my favorite.
Oh, dude.
Just dusty as.
If I grew my hair out, you literally, like, Arn Anderson has been rocking a dusty hairline for 40 years.
Yeah, Nick Cage has a good dusty hairline. Kevin Costner, a lot of dusty hairlines. That's good shit.
Arn Anderson's hairline puts mine to shame at this
Yeah.
point, probably.
Oh, dude,
I got about 6 hairs on top.
Arn is so sick.
I mean, Nate can laugh at it because he's fucking
Yeah, exactly. Good to go forever.
Yeah, my dad has like a full head of hair and he's 60, so.
Yeah, you're in good shape.
Is it what? It skips a generation, right? That's the.
I don't think so. I don't buy into that shit. I don't know.
I mean, yeah,
My
I don't
hair-
know.
I have
It
a
makes
lot
sense
of
for
it.
me. My grandfather was bald. My dad's good, and I'm not. So,
I'm 31. I've shown no sign of receding hairline.
yeah, because
Or
mine was like,
thinning, so.
I actually had super thick hair, and I used to have the rock and ponytail, and I had plenty of hair. Like Barbara said, like, "Oh, your hair's so thick, you're never gonna lose it." I didn't when I was a kid. I was like, "Oh, whatever, I don't care." And then like late 20s, man, just shit changed real
Just
quick.
don't give a fuck.
So
anymore.
in the 30s, you're
Take it
fine.
away. Who cares?
That's what pisses me off is when dudes who have hair shave their head. It's like, you fucking asshole. That drives me fucking wild.
Like you know Edgar from the.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like one day I saw him and he had like some hair and I was like, "The fuck, Edgar? I thought you were bald." He's like, "No, I just pick my head all the time." I'm like,
Yeah, full
the
head,
hell?
full head of hair just bick my head. Like,
What a waste.
yep,
I just
exactly.
saw me and Hana, when I was in LA and I saw Between the Buried and Me play. And like we've known Between the Buried and Me since they've started. Like literally, Wes hit a man in the face with a shoe during like one of their like first shows.
Yeah.
They played in like Buffalo. And
"Were you an ass beating pitter?"
I used to just literally take my shoe off and just whack people in the faces.
Andy, was he a hard pitter?
yeah.
Oh, that's tight.
I know someone that has his number though. During a Blood Has Been Shed set, his own cousin, just swung back and split his nose in two. Split Wes's nose in two. I've never seen more blood come out of a man's face than him. He looked like
shit.
yeah, he looked like R. Bud Dwyer when he blows his brains out during that press conference. If you ever seen that video,
Jesus Christ, no. Oh no, I have seen that.
Yeah.
That's the most I ever bled until I almost cut my leg off.
yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Here, hold this.
Not really, but I will. I mean, it's kind of a traumatic experience.
Was it?
I mean, for those of you who don't know, I'm a glorified garbage man.
You got your own business, Wes.
Got my
You-
own
yeah,
business.
yeah, you got your own business,
I'm
man.
essentially a garbage man. I mean, I clean out homes, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But I pretty much get hurt every day,
Yeah.
unintentionally. Like, just one of those things where the more safe you try to be, the worse it ends up being.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I got a nail in my leg a few weeks ago.
Oh, this was just a few weeks ago?
Yeah, while I was on the phone, I was actually taking a call.
Yeah.
I busted a cabinet up that was in a basement because it was too big to get out the door.
Would you use to bust it up? Just like a hammer?
Sledgehammer.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was on the phone and my leg just brushed across it.
Oh.
Like I didn't even, it was like, you brushing across the chair.
Yeah.
I kept talking and I could feel my leg was wet.
Oh, man.
And I looked down and there was about a 3-foot circle of blood underneath my shoe.
Oh.
And it was just shooting out,
Like
shooting out the
legit?
hole in my pant. Yeah, like every time my heart would beat, it would.
Yeah, so I mean, I know there's like a major vein in your
Yeah,
leg somewhere.
so
I don't know if you hit the major one or just a vein.
Yeah, so I took my shirt off and took my belt off and put,
Tied it
put
off.
the old tourniquet on.
Yeah. Did you get stitches in your leg?
They actually glued it and butterflied it.
Yeah. Oh.
I
But
had shit to do. So.
yeah, guys are gonna get the
I
fuck
don't
out of
have
here.
time for stitches.
It's not like me, guys. I gotta go get fucking mac and cheese at
Right,
Moody's.
yeah.
I don't want to sit in the hospital for 3 hours. Give me a break.
Just gotta go listen to Puff, baby, belly. Sorry, Puff. Not really.
Puff being a little bitch at the dinner table.
Did they? When you fucking diced your leg, how did they stop the bleeding?
By the time I got to, I finished the job up.
Yeah.
I was on it for like another hour or so.
Yeah.
And I went to.
Just tied it off with the belt.
Yeah,
and
I just
kept
tied
going?
it off with the belt. I went to immediate care,
Yeah.
and they have these little like granules. It's called Celox, I believe. It's like what they use in the military. Like
Oh, the
or
fucking
like
dude was the dude tonight kept talking about sea locks.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
is that stitches? What the fuck is that?
No, they have it on a pad, and they have actual granules.
Yeah.
So they just put the pad on it.
Yep.
And they press down on it, and it like instantly stops pretty much anything.
Oh.
What?
We're at 11% right now.
Oh, we'll crank. Yeah, so they put the pad on it, and then he's like, "Do you want me to stitch it?" And I said, "Well, what's the difference if you stitch it or not?" And he said, "Just scar management, basically."
Fuck.
So I just had him glue it, butterfly it, and
Yeah.
then I went back out.
Huh. And they were saying the same thing like, with my eye. They were just like, just scar management. It's like, well,
I would,
who
yeah, I,
cares?
mean, I would just glue it. It's easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you're pushing 40. Life's basically over.
So there's been multiple times where I've, let's see, there was twice from hitting and once from wrestling
Oh yeah.
where I should have 100% went to the hospital
Yeah.
and gotten stitches. And every time,
Just
I
like in
did-
your head and your face.
no, what happened to my face?
No, didn't you? Well, what stitches where?
No, okay, so one of them I got hit with a chair.
Oh.
in the arm.
Okay.
And it was like a little tiny guy, but I had a flight at 6 a.m. It was like midnight. I was like, fucking to the hospital.
Yeah.
And I glued it shut. Emily glued it shut.
Beautiful.
And then at 4 a.m., I started driving myself to the Flyaway, which is the bus that takes you to the airport.
Yeah.
And I put a sweatshirt on, and I just feel my sweatshirt filling up with blood. I was like, oh shit! So I like ran back inside, woke her up out of a dead sleep.
Yeah.
And fucking clean it and glue it back together. Then she had to drive me to the airport.
Yeah.
I was late.
At this point.
So then, every time I've tried to glue it, and it gets incredibly infected.
Yeah.
And it just like one time my elbow swelled up to the size of a softball.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit! And it was like really hot. And I went to the hospital, and they're like, yeah, you like your arm? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, next time come get stitches, or else it's gonna fall off. I'm like,
Okay.
okay.
I was a little worried about that with my eyeball if it got infected.
Nah.
Now what? When it did, so what do they do when it got infected? They just give you fucking penicillin.
Antibiotics, yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
they told me to soak it in Epsom salt.
Okay. Not too shabby.
No.
You're not a bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably didn't. Yeah, probably
Yeah,
just
okay, Doc.
took it. Yeah,
Pussy.
Yeah, I'm not a fucking coward.
exactly. You think about pussy, Doc? Epsom salt. Get out of here. Drink a couple beers, I'll be fine.
That's it.
It is almost 2:30. We have to leave for Smash in 8 hours.
Yeah.
So, and we're on 12%. Love you guys. I love this podcast, but let's wrap it up. Not to mention, I feel like shit.
Yeah. Happy year anniversary.
Thanks, Wes.
Wait, before we send off, since it is the For the Table
Uh-huh.
podcast,
Yeah.
what everyone's got to name their favorite appetizer.
Oh boy.
Oof.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna, and I don't want to extend this any longer, but I'm going to.
We can hit a top 5 favorite appetizer, whatever you guys
I'll
want.
just say like some of my favorites. I have this weird thing that happens. I think Wes might be able to attest to this. Is that I do this like weird thing where I obsess over stuff for a while. There was a year where I had this place called Nestor's was open, and it was I would either like supplement Wes or Rat Boy with the person that I would go with, but I would go to this place Nestor's every day and eat 2 grilled cheese sandwiches and a banana milkshake every day for about 6 months.
You did only live off Skittles for like a year and a half.
I have a tooth missing because of Skittles, because I literally had Skittles. My nickname is Skittles, which sucks, because Oliver Peck found out that I had the Skittle addiction, where I always had to have Skittles on me at all times, and I would always have a pack in my pocket or 2 packs in my pocket, and then be eating a pack.
You still love them?
Yeah, I don't eat them anymore. They're my weakness. So I did it anyways. Fucking Oliver found out about this, being the most evil human being there is. And I hadn't eaten a Skittle in 6 months at that time, 4 months, something like that. I was off. I was
off the wagon. Oh, no,
yeah,
you're on the wagon.
I was on the wagon. He is not a good person. So he's not allowed in Canada, and he's got like federal charges or something. And he's not allowed in Canada. So right before we're about to go to Canada, he just runs on our bus and throws 2 of the 2-pound bags at me. He goes, "There you go, Skittles, take your hit." He gets off the bus like shitty laugh. And I'm like, I just hand him to Biggie and I go, "Dude, hide these. I cannot see them." And he was like, "Okay." And I don't know what happened. I went to bed. Woke up at about right now, 2:30 in the morning, craving Skittles. I couldn't stop thinking of them. Found one of the 2-pound bags and ate the entire 1 bag at 2:30 a.m. In the process, lost a filling in one of my back teeth that then got infected that day. So I woke up with my face just swollen in Canada. And I'm like, what the fuck? So 3 days I couldn't sleep and my jaw just shut. So it was so swollen I couldn't open my jaw. I couldn't get like food in. So I was just drinking protein shakes and just being miserable because I had a fever in my face. So I finally like get to the point where like I'm just driving in a bus in a coffin because you sleep in a bunk on your Iron Warp Tour. And I get to a place, I go to the office and I go, "Can you guys please find me a dentist that I can get to right now? Like there's like an emergency problem." But I had that huge fucking dumb beard at the time. So you couldn't even see that my face was swollen. You could just feel it if you touched it. It was hot. It was bad. So we go to this place. The guy didn't speak very well English. So all he kept saying was root canal or pull.
Extraction.
So it was, let's say this is like 10 a.m. The band is playing at 2. So I'm like, get this out of my head, like or fix it. And he's like, root canal it would take too long. I said, then pull the fucker, man. So he gets in there, he fucking pulls it, blood shoots out of my mouth, and my whole mouth is like, I can't feel my mouth. So I say, "Dude, can I get that tooth?" And he goes, "You want the tooth?" I was like, "Yeah, give me my tooth, man. That was off of my body. Like, I should have that. I should have the option to take that." He was just gonna like throw it out or do whatever the fuck they do with them, which is really creepy if you think about it. Yeah. So I get this tooth and I send the picture to Oliver. This is 2008, so the picture wasn't very good. But I take a picture, I send it to Oliver. He calls me just laughing. He thinks it's the funniest fucking thing in the world. And he's in like Idaho or something like that, waiting for us to come back in to the States. And he's like, I'll play in cornhole for that tooth. Ah! And he's like crying, laughing, like thinks it's like the funniest thing. And I'm like, you son of a bitch, I got this thing in my face. When I see you, I'm going to fuck you up. So we get back, we're playing. I have no idea that blood is just pouring out of my mouth from this cut. And I'm headbanging and playing the show, but my mouth is totally numb and blood is just flailing all over my face. When I got done, there was like blood all in the beard. It was garbage. Anyways, that day I go to catering, and I'm sitting there with a full plate of food, and I'm finally stoked I finally can eat. And Oliver went and bought $92 worth of Skittles, filled a 5-gallon bucket up with it. I'll tell this whole story right now. This is how we will end it, and then each person gets to pick their favorite appetizer. I then do that. He shows up with this 5-gallon bucket and just takes a handful and puts it right on top of my food. And he's like, buddy, I got you $92. Now I have to walk around with a 5-gallon bucket of Skittles everywhere I go so that people would eat these. So if you came on our bus, you would have to leave. I would make you leave with a handful of Skittles. It's like, oh, where are you going on the bus? And like I remember like when like friends would bring their kids, I'd be like, hey, come on, here's some Skittles, get some Skittles. So then one of the most legendary stories that I've ever lived through, I've probably told it on this podcast before. I'm going to tell it again because it is fucking awesome. We had this huge, Ryan Dunn was still alive. Ryan Dunn's the guy that like introduced cornhole basically to Oliver and me. So like, it's my favorite game. And I don't know Ryan Dunn, but by him showing Oliver cornhole and then showing me cornhole, I started playing cornhole, right? So we have this huge thing. It's fucking, every person throws $20 in. Matt from the Bronx and Zach Cannon are a team Colombian Mojo or something like that. They made white bags to represent cocaine. And then Oliver and I, who were like arguably the best team, literally lost first round. Like we got beat by someone first round. Zach and Matt, just high and drunk, beat everybody. They win, and the pot was huge. It was like $1,000 or something. So at the end of the thing, Zach thinks it's hilarious to grab the bucket and dump the bucket of Skittles over Matt's head for winning. Oliver freaks out on the fucking mic and goes, you motherfucker, I spent $92 on that. I'm taking my fucking money out. And he takes the money, he takes $92 out of the pot that these guys are supposed to win. Zach Cannon, being a human ape, just pulls his dick out, piss ready, and pisses all over the Skittles. Pisses all over the Skittles. Which I have another Zach Cannon piss ready story, but he pisses all over the fucking Skittles. No, well, him and I both pissed in our mouths together because we got to see Turbo Negro, and then someone shot into the crowd. Like we got drive-by'd as we were leaving a Turbo Negro show in Seattle. Anyways, so back to the other thing. He pisses all over the Skittles, and then, dude, it was crazy. It was almost like a movie. Everyone just disappeared. Like, there was like 200 people watching these games go on, and then piss Skittles happen, Oliver gets mad, and then it's just Oliver and I picking things up. Like, we're picking all the tables up, we're picking the PA system up, everything like that. Like, people that they're leaving trash, and just out of the shadows walks the keyboard player of Motion City Soundtrack, wasted, Jesse. And he goes, we're like looking the other way, and all we hear is, hey man, are these Skittles? And we're like, no. We just pulled the Willy Wonka. We're like, no, don't. And you could see, as he's grabbing these Skittles, you could see glistening, dripping out of his hand and down his arm, and he's just shoveling piss Skittles into his mouth. And we're like, holy shit. I remember just Oliver and I, and Oliver's like, is he really eating these? And I was like, dude, he's loving them. And he's just shoveling piss Skittles in his mouth. And we're like, oh my God. And you could see like color dripping down his face. Like, because he was so wasted, he had no idea. And then he just walks away, like nothing happened. And me and Oliver were like, "Get your phone out. We need to text everybody. Or like text the Bronx. We text Against B. We text everybody." And it gets around Warped Tour like Jesse had eaten piss Skittles. So the next day, Oliver's tattooing in his RV. We like leave to go get lunch, and we're walking down this road, and the door opens. There's one door like into the backstage, and it's outdoors, and the door opens, and the only person that walks out the door is Jesse. And he's walking towards us. He's walking towards a total walk of shame, and he's walking past Oliver and I, and then we're like past him. We're like, "Oh shit, we got away with it." And then we hear, "Hey guys," we turn around. He goes, "Did I really eat piss Skittles last night?" And we're like, "Yeah, dude, we tried to stop you, man, but like you were really into them." And he just puts his head down and just like walked away. Dude, it was fucking great, man. One of the best things I've ever seen in my
That is
life.
one of my favorite stories of all time.
It was great, dude. It was great. And just Oliver has this laugh that happens that hurts everything.
Yeah.
Like he knows when he has you, and he will laugh and just keep laughing, and it just goes right to your soul, man. That fucking guy he's the devil, but he's also a god. It's the weirdest thing. So yeah, I like fried calamari. That's one of my favorites. I'm a squid guy. I do like squid a lot.
That squid appetizer we had.
Oh, daikon?
Yeah, that was good.
We got it
Like
again.
garlic squid.
Yeah, dude. Hana and I got it again. It's so good.
I'm gonna go with some real basic, overcooked, crispy potato skins, cheese, bacon, and sour cream, like dipped in
They
sour
can be
cream.
really
Dipped in,
fucked up though. Like
Let's say
when it's
if they're
half
du-
of a potato and they put shit toppings on it.
I would like if they're nice and thick and they got like a good amount of cheese
almost
and
hollowed out a
bacon.
little bit.
Yeah, like you said, the worst is when they don't have anything on them.
Yeah.
But like and then dip them in sour cream.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's my call. Wesley, come on, man.
Piss Skittles. I'm 100% a dumpling guy.
Oh
If
yeah,
there's dumplings on the menu, I'm gonna get them every single time.
yeah,
I mean, this sounds really basic, but a good mozzarella stick
yeah.
will change the meal. Last night at Legends
It was awesome.
in Pittsburgh, they were triangles and they were unreal good.
I'm gonna tell you something because you're close to it. Maggiano's,
Oh,
Maggiano's in Orange County, literally has the best fried mozzarella I've ever had. And they
There's
call
a-
it fried mozzarella.
There's
It's
a diner
so good.
in Burbank called the Coral Cafe that me and Emily always go to.
Yeah.
And their mozzarella sticks are like, it's like a cast of batter over them, and you like snap it, and they like fucking stay hot forever because it is such like it's not thick, but it's just like the perfect fry on them.
yeah.
But I will say my favorite time of ever ordering appetizers was with you, Andy, when we went to Roy's, that Hawaiian steakhouse.
Yeah.
And Andy just started ordering entrees as appetizers. And he would.
a normal.
It was like
Yeah, it is.
$60 steaks that he just kept saying for the table.
Yeah. Sometimes I get horny, man.
It
I
was
just
like
go for it.
an entire half of a lobster for the table.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that's where we're gonna end the For the Table podcast.
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes-
perfect.
Sometimes you just gotta rough it up a little bit.
The joy,
Get ready for the main
the
course.
joy on it when you're like, when you're talking about going out to eat for like an hour and then you finally get there, like the joy in Andy, like when you get to the diner or the restaurant is the best.
I'll also tell you this much. For the Table has truly changed some of our friends. Like, Morgado was the most miserable human being on
Yeah,
the planet.
yeah,
The most negative, didn't like anything.
yeah.
I don't even think he liked me. And
Really forced him to turn around.
he'll say it himself. The table changed him.
It's
Like,
great.
It makes you a better person. If you sit down at a table with your friends and you bite the bullet and you go, all right, I'm ordering a couple appetizers for the table, everyone is like,
Oh yeah, just
oh man, like
Breaking
I
bread.
need to be generous too.
I'm gonna go back to saying this. All I want is all of my friends to come.
Yeah.
And if I can help
It's my
them,
favorite quote of all time.
if I can help them do that, I'm a happy person. There's nothing better than going out and fucking buying food for your friends. It is the best thing in the world. Like the fact that you're an adult and you don't have to penny pinch and you can literally just pull the trigger on that is the best thing. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
It literally is, and it's not a big dog move. Just literally have found out. Like people sometimes get offended when I like buy stuff. You know what I mean? If I buy a bunch of food and I'm just like, guys, let me get it.
Just pay it forward.
It's Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant always paid for every meal, and even if there was a bigger dog in the room, it's like, I got it. Just let me have it. Drew Stafford used to live in Buffalo. He played for the Sabres, and he would always buy. And there was a time where like Wes and I was like, dude, just keep your wallet away. We also work. We just don't make as much money as you. Let us fucking buy this one. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm a 40-year-old man.
Buy
now.
an app for the table.
That's the thing.
If you're not the one buying it, pay it forward on the next meal.
This is what you're doing, whether you're a guy or you're a girl, whatever you would identify as. When you buy an app, you're making your friends come.
Yep.
That's it. You're jerking or you're fingering.
I have never seen an unhappy person with a fucking dumpling in their hand.
That's what I'm saying. Or a mozzarella stick.
Or a calamari ring.
You'll learn about this. The thing that makes the world go round
Is appetizer.
is making your friends come by buying appetizers for them. Because there's nothing better. Wes and I took Wes we went to a Korean place like last week, and it was just like free for all, man. Like Koreans, if you're Korean, thank you. That's all I want to say, because you understand me to the fullest.
I also love when we just start one-upping each other. And I think that's actually how you started ordering entree as the apps. Because you were like, yeah, let's get some mozzarella sticks. I was like, we should get some calamari. And you're like, and we should get this. And then it was just like, I think we ran out of apps.
Yeah.
And
we'll take the chef's
Amber
choice.
was also there. And Amber straight up ordered like the entire app menu.
Yo,
And that's why you were like, let me get the half of a lobster for the table.
Are you ready for this? If you go to, Morton's.
Yeah.
Okay, Mastro's.
Yes.
Okay, so Mastro's is California only, I'm pretty sure. Maybe New York has a Mastro's. Mastro's is a very expensive steakhouse.
Right.
So the first time I had ever went with Hammer to Mastro's, he ordered, it was just him and I. He ordered one of every appetizer, the chef's cut strip, which was $60 on its own, and then every dessert, because he's like, well, we got to try it all. It was, and I literally was sweating, dude. Like, it was to the point I was like, I'm not gonna pay $200 for this meal. And then he like covered it, and I was like, like it was a Violent Gentleman meal, and I was like, like sketched out. And
I
then
think you actually sent me a picture, and you were like, this is for
no,
the table.
that was the time. It was me, Hammer, Biggie, Dog, who runs Merchant Limited, and Brian, the other Violent Gentleman guy. We were there, and they ordered everything on the menu.
Oh my God.
Every cut of steak they bought so we could all for the table it, and the check was almost $2,000. And I don't make the money those dudes do. So like they all started kicking their credit card out, and I started kicking mine out, and I was slow about it. And then one of them was like, "No, guys, I got it." And I was like the biggest smile, and I was like, "It's going down." I like literally sweating. That's not my like world. I'm talking for the table I'm talking Fridays.
Yeah. Go. Yeah.
I'm talking like a hundo is okay
Go to
for
a
the
diner,
buds.
get a couple $10
Yeah.
teasers, and make everyone happy.
Yeah.
Make everyone come.
Yeah, that's it. And that's it, Make everybody come, boys and girls. All right. Well, the heat's in the ring. I love you guys.
Well, happy 1 year. Hopefully there's many more. I don't know what'll happen in like 5 years. I'm sure it won't be podcasts.
I'm sure
anymore.
nobody will listen to
Yeah.
You'll probably like.
I'll think it.
Yeah, exactly. You'll just put like something in your ear and think it, and
It'll just happen.
stream somehow. Yeah.
That'll happen in real life.
Yeah. All right, guys.
In another year, Wes is going to own his own trash barge.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
He's going to own Trash Island.
The trash.
It's gonna be at the end of the street. There's a couple acres for sale at the end of the street. I'm gonna buy.
He
them.
literally starting to look at land like now. The guy's an insane
You're
person.
going to make a dump?
I have to buy stuff. Otherwise, the government's going to take my money. So he's going to buy land.
He's Donald J. Dump.
I really am Don Dump. I just don't have hair.
President Don Dump. And there we go. Heat's in the ring, brother. We're out of here.